Hi, I'm Ed. Today we're going to find out why a Frigidaire refrigerator isn't cooling in the refrigerator section. This could be caused by an airflow issue. While there are a couple of different things that can cause an airflow problem, we're going to focus on the evaporator fan motor, thermistor, and control board. Let's go through each step together so you can make this repair yourself. Before we get started, make sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons so you can get notified when we post new videos. With over 2 million products in stock and the know-how to help you do it yourself, we are AppliancePartsPros.com. Before we get started, let's get our tools together. Today we'll need a 1/4-inch Nutdriver and a multimeter. While you're grabbing those, please remember to keep safety first. Always remember to disconnect your refrigerator by unplugging it or switching off the breaker. The first thing we're going to check is the control board, which can be a common reason for the evaporator fan motor not to run. The board supplies power to the evaporator fan motor, and if the board is faulty, then it won't send the required voltage to the motor. To access the control board, you will want to remove the screw that is recessed in the cover at the back right side behind where the filter is located. There will then be a screw located right behind the filter that will also need to be removed. You will next remove the 3 screws that are recessed under the control panel. Then you will remove the 2 screws on the left side that will allow the control assembly to be pulled down. In this video section, we have the appliance plugged in. This is so the light can be on so we can see just a little bit better. However, for your appliance, it should be turned off or unplugged. Once all the screws have been removed, you should be able to drop the control housing down so you can access the control board. Then push the 2 clips that hold the control board in place to remove it from the housing. Now go ahead and plug the refrigerator up so we can test with live power. We'll be checking live voltage here, so remember to be very careful here. Always take extreme care when checking live voltage so you can protect yourself from electrical shock, which has the potential to cause serious injuries. Please don't ever test live voltage if you're uncomfortable using a multimeter. Now we can test the control board for AC voltage. First, find the P1 connector on the board. Then find the red wire with the white stripe and the light blue wire. These will be pins 6 and pins 11. Next, place one lead on the red wire with the white stripe and the other lead on the light blue wire, and you should get 120 volts here. If there's 120 volts AC, then we need to check the evaporator fan motor. If you don't get 120 volts AC at the control board, then you'll need to check the thermistor. Since we already have the control panel down and have access to the thermistor, we'll go ahead and check it next. A bad thermistor can cause the control board to think the temperature is correct and not turn on the evaporator fan motor. We need to test the refrigerator thermistor for resistance. Just set your multimeter to the resistance setting, which looks like an upside-down horseshoe. Then disconnect the thermistor harness and place 1 meter lead into one side of the connector, then one on the other side. At room temperature, you should have a resistance reading of 10 k ohms. If the resistance is bad, then the thermistor needs to be replaced. If the resistance is good, then we can move on to check the evaporator fan motor. Don't forget to snap the control panel back into place before putting the control housing back. We need to put the control housing back on the ceiling and install the 3/4-inch screws that hold the housing in place. Then, install the 2 1/4-inch screws in the side panel at the upper left-hand side. Install a single 1/4-inch screw behind the water filter. Now you can put the cover back over the tubing, and once you install the 1/4-inch screw that holds it in place, you're done. A failing evaporator fan motor can also cause the refrigerator to be warmer in the fridge section. You'll want to open the freezer door and listen for the fan motor. If it's not running, then we need to figure out why. To access the fan motor, open the freezer door and remove the shelving. Then remove the 4 shelving brackets. Then remove the 4 1/4-inch screws that hold the rear panel in place. Once you remove the rear panel, you can find the evaporator fan motor above the evaporator in the center of the freezer. We need to test the evaporator fan motor for AC voltage. Set your multimeter to volts AC and find the blue and red wire on the evaporator fan motor. Place one lead on the terminal of the blue wire and the other on the terminal of the red wire. There should be 120 volts AC going to the evaporator fan motor. If you get 120 volts AC but the fan isn't running, then the fan is faulty and needs to be replaced. As you can see here, we do have 120 volts AC at the fan motor, but our fan isn't running, so it needs to be replaced. If there's not 120 volts to the fan motor and the control board is sending power, then that means there's some type of wiring problem. Next, put the rear panel back in place and secure it with the 4 1/4-inch screws. After the back panel has been put on, don't forget to install your shelf holders. Each shelving bracket has 2 1/4-inch screws connected to it. Once that is done, install the shelf bases and the freezer tubs, and just like that, you're done. Since we found the faulty part, our next stop is appliancepartsforuss.com so we can get a replacement. Most orders arrive in just a few days, and we have many more videos to walk you through the installation process. Make sure you let us know how the repair went in the comments. If you like this video, let us know by hitting those like and subscribe buttons. Thank you for your support, and we'll see you next time.